Hey there, life editors! Welcome to another one of our weekly group calls. Thank you so much for being here with me today. All right, for those of you who are brand new, allow me to introduce myself. I know we have a lot of new people, and I'm so thrilled about that. I've seen my YouTube numbers going up this week, and I'm very excited for all these new people. So if you are new here, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Sage Grayson, and I'm a former book editor turned life coach. And I help ambitious women edit their habits, routines, and mindsets to balance their happiness at work and home. I'm a life editor, and so are you. Yes, so we're talking about life editing here on this channel. We are streaming simultaneously on YouTube and Facebook and in my Facebook group. So thank you for being here wherever you're watching from. And if you are still watching the replay, even if it's days later, go ahead and leave a comment. Tell me what's on your mind and what questions you have about life editing, motivation, business strategies, or any of that good stuff. All right, so every week we jump in here and we do a live stream call. So you can leave a comment, ask me any questions that you have. But I also like to have a topic that we focus on that goes along with our monthly theme. Yes, we have switched over to monthly themes, and you guys have been loving it. I'm really happy that we're doing these monthly themes because it's kind of nice to have a cohesive set of calls and everyone is working on the same thing at the same time. So this month's theme is manifesting magic. Yes, it's all about law of attraction this month, May 2022. And if you want to keep track of what we're talking about every week and make sure that you get here for all of our live stream calls, make sure you download your checklist. And I have left the link in the description on YouTube and Facebook where you can download your monthly checklist. We change this every month. And it's got our theme for the month. It's got our new Clubhouse class. For those of you who are in the Life Editor Clubhouse, we have a brand new class every single month. We've got the book that we're reading plus our 4 live stream calls. So you know exactly what we're talking about every week. So make sure you click the link below, download your checklist so you can life edit along with us. All right, like I mentioned, we are reading Manifesting Made Easy this month. So go ahead and click the link below if you haven't gotten your copy of Manifesting Made Easy. And you still have a full week to read this before we talk about it next week on the 24th. And I can't wait to hear what you guys have been able to manifest by reading this book. Love it because it's so like down to earth. You wouldn't think that with a law of attraction book, but it really is down to earth, implementable, simple things. And this book definitely goes along with the topic that we're talking about today. So remember, get your copy of Manifesting Made Easy. We're talking about it during our book club next week. Okay, now on to today's topic. To go along with our theme of manifesting magic, which is our theme for this month, we are talking about simple law of attraction techniques for skeptics. Oh no, skeptics, not you. No, but it's true. So I'm a life coach. And if I really had to nail it down, I would say I'm a productivity coach. So a lot of what I teach my clients is about how to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible with less stress and burnout. So I'm very practical. It's all time management, productivity stuff that I teach my clients. But I am also a huge proponent of the law of attraction, which you might not think I would be because I'm not one of those hippy dippy spiritual coaches. And don't get me wrong, I love those hippy dippy coaches too. I do follow a bunch of them, but that's not really what I focus on with my business. I'm definitely more type A, a little bit more high strung, a little bit more anal. Raise your hand and leave a comment. Are you type A like me? Are you kind of intense? So why would I like the law of attraction? Well, I started using the law of attraction many years ago. And honestly, I was pretty skeptical about it. Probably like how you're feeling too. Like, can this really work? Like positive thinking, is that really going to get me what I want in life? But after a while, after doing a whole bunch of law of attraction exercises, and I tweaked them and edited them to make them fit me and my type A personality, not the hippy dippy versions that some people try to get you into. And I made it fit me. And I saw like, wow, this really does work. It really does work for me. So let's take a quick minute here and talk about what exactly is the law of attraction when we're talking about that. Some of you might be new to it, or you kind of heard about the law of attraction, but you didn't look into it because you are skeptical and you're like, that's too woo-woo for me. All right. So The law of attraction goes along with step 1 of my life editing process, which is create a foundation. And that's when you feel happy and grateful for all of the things that you have right now. And when you are grateful for everything you have now, it attracts more of that good stuff to you. So if you appreciate your home, if you appreciate your health, you appreciate your friends and family, if you appreciate your paycheck, even if you don't like your job, but if you're appreciative of all of those blessings that you have in your life, even if things aren't perfect, and I know things aren't perfect, but when you appreciate those things, you're able to attract more of that to you. I know you have seen people who are just like little rays of sunshine all the time. Maybe that's me. And they just keep attracting more and more goodness to them. And you see that go like, wow, that happened for them, and that happened for them, and that happened for them. Or maybe you know someone who's kind of poor, or maybe they don't live in the best neighborhood, or maybe they've had a lot of sickness or whatever, but they're still positive and they're still happy and grateful for what they have. On the flip side, I know you know some Debbie Downers. Raise your hand if you know a Debbie Downer, because I know a bunch of them. And what a Debbie Downer is that someone who kind of attracts bad things to them like a magnet. I know you've seen someone like this, where like they'll wake up in the morning and spill coffee on themselves, and then they'll stub their toe, and then they'll get stuck in traffic, and then their manager will yell at them, and then their kid is sick, and on and on and on and on. I remember back when I worked in corporate, like many years ago, there was this one woman who was just an endless like stream of catastrophes happening to her all the time. And I started to notice that all she would do is complain about her life, complain about her cubicle, complain about her clothes, complain about her kids, complain about food, complain about everything. And I'm like, man, you don't appreciate anything. No wonder you're not getting more of that in your life. Because really, if somebody has something good that they want to share, are you going to share it with someone who appreciates what they have? Or are you going to share it with someone who's angry and resentful all the time? I definitely noticed that I am more willing to help people out if they can appreciate what they have. And I know people have helped me out because they're like, you know, you're not complaining. You're using what you got and you're making it work. This is kind of the essence of life editing, because there are going to be bad things in our lives. There's going to be struggles and challenges, but we can edit and adjust and tweak things and make things work for us. So maybe you're not in the best job right now, but what can you do to make it better? I remember when I was in a really bad job, really bad job. I've shared this before and I know it's gross, but I keep sharing it. I don't know why I keep sharing it, but it's a good illustration. So I had this horrible job with a manager who was just terrible to me. She was so vindictive and mean and awful. I hated going to this job. And every day as I was driving to the office, I would get violently sick, where I'd have to pull over to a gas station and just be sick. Like I was also getting sick in the mornings as I was waking up. Like my body was like, oh no, not this again. Blah. I know that sounds so gross, but I was having like such a horrible time with this manager and this job that I was getting sick on the way to work every single day. So what I did is when I was in work and I was looking at my planner and looking at what I had to do for the day, I started keeping a gratitude list in my planner next to my to-do list. And I had to start really small, like things that I was grateful for. Like, I don't know, I was grateful for my manager. Despite being a horrible person, she never stole anyone's lunch out of the refrigerator. Or that she always dressed nice, or that she was very punctual. And I started like writing down, I'm very grateful for my paycheck. And I'm very grateful that I have a chair to sit in and I don't have to stand all day. And I'm very grateful that I get to work on a computer instead of working with my hands. And like just little stuff like that. Or I'm very grateful that I get to leave at 5, all of that stuff. And after 3 months of keeping gratitude journal, I got the job of my dreams for a great big, huge medical textbook publisher, which sounds really dorky for you guys, but it was like huge deal for me to get a job at this place. And I got away from that horrible manager. So that's the thing. It's like, yes, we all have horrible situations. Maybe you have a bad job. Maybe you're struggling financially. Maybe your kids are driving you nuts, or maybe your health is not the best right now. But we can appreciate what we have, even if it's a teeny little bit, even if you have to like look microscopically. Is there anything in there to appreciate? Yes, there is. There is something to appreciate. At the very least, you have eyes to watch this video and ears to hear this video today, and you're here with me and you have internet. Like, that's good, something good that you can appreciate. So that's kind of the basis of the law of attraction, is that if you appreciate what you have and you stay positive and hopeful, you will start attracting more of those things to you. And we're going to get into how and why you attract those things in just a minute. Now, the law of attraction can be super, super simple. It can just be positive thinking, like, I'm not in the best job right now, but I am thinking positive about a new job, or I'm thinking positive about getting that raise, or I'm thinking positively that I will, whatever, I will be able to pay off my debt soon, whatever it is. So just simply thinking positive is a way to use the law of attraction. But like we've talked about before, law of attraction can get super complicated if you want it to be. You can chant out in the woods under the full moon. You can use crystals. You can listen to meditations. You can do some kind of like group collective manifestation together. There's all sorts of ways you can like make the law of attraction bigger and bolder and more woo-woo. I don't really get into those ones because I don't, because I'm a productivity coach. But if you do those things, if you like using crystals, if you like chanting, if you like doing affirmations and all of that stuff, like we've talked about vision boards before, that's probably as woo-woo as I get. but you can do all of those things. That's the great thing about the law of attraction. It's just thinking positive, attracting those good things, appreciating what you have. And then there's many, many, many ways you can do it. So today we're talking about how you can use the law of attraction, even if you're a skeptic, even if you're like, really, I don't think this is going to work for me. Even if you are one of those Debbie Downers and you have to like claw your way back up from that despair, we're going to talk about how you can do that as a skeptic without having to become a hippie, without having to like move to some cottage in the woods, without having to buy a whole bunch of expensive crystals. Like, no, you don't have to do any of that stuff. Okay, so let's start with why you might be skeptical. And I've got 3 reasons why you might be skeptical of the law of attraction. And if you're a skeptic right now, I want you to leave a comment and let me know why. Why are you skeptical of the law of attraction? Does it just not make sense to you? Has it not worked for you? Let me know. So the first thing is, most people wait. They will believe it when they see it. They'll believe it when they see it. Like, I don't see it. I don't see any proof. I'm not going to believe it. And that's actually the opposite of the law of attraction. With the law of attraction, we know you've got to believe it first and then you'll see it, rather than seeing it and then believing it. No, you got to believe it first. And here's the thing. I know there are plenty of things out there that you just believe for yourself. Maybe some of you who are religious, you might believe in a God or something that you actually don't see proof. Or maybe there's even a whole bunch of proof against what you're believing. But you do it anyway. You believe out of faith. So kind of the law of attraction is believing it first, and then you'll see it. It's kind of like expecting the good. So if I'm going to go into a job interview, let's say you have a job interview too. Are you going to go into that job interview and feel like, oh, they're not going to like me. They're going to throw my resume in the trash in front of me. They're going to ask me questions that I don't know. They're going to make fun of my previous work, like, or I'm going to spill coffee all over me and whatever. If you go into a job interview with that type of attitude, thinking that they're going to hate you during the job interview, yeah, you're probably going to flub it. You're probably not going to do well during that job interview. But what if you did a little mental dress rehearsal? And I know we've talked about mental dress rehearsal before. That's a law of attraction technique too. And you think about everything going right. Like, I'm going to walk into that job interview confident. They're going to shake my hand firmly. They're going to love me. They're going to appreciate the work that I did. They're going to ask questions I'm going to have great answers for. Maybe even you practiced those answers ahead of time. It's a totally different vibe. So if you believe that something is going to go well for you, it's more likely to go well from you. You kind of put off those vibes that everything's going to be great, rather than showing up with a wall in front of you like, everything's going to go wrong. So that's the first thing, though, why you might be skeptical. You will believe it when you see it. But to use the law of attraction, you got to believe it first, and then you'll see it. All right. The second reason you might be skeptical of the law of attraction is you've been burned in the past. Oh, I know. I know some of you were so excited about the law of attraction when you first heard about it, whenever it might have been. Maybe you listened to Oprah years ago and you're like, law of attraction, I can't wait to try this. Or maybe you read The Secret or something like that. And you're like, yeah, so excited about law of attraction. But then you felt burned by it. So maybe you were doing some kind of exercise, but whatever you were asking for was so big and so ginormous that honestly, you didn't believe it in your heart. But you were like, but that thing's supposed to plop down into my lap. Why didn't it? So I know a lot of people do this at first and they're like, I'm going to be positive and I'm going to expect $1,000,000. Do they really believe it? Probably not. That's too big of a number for most people. So let's say you have a business and last year you earned $900,000. Could you make $1,000,000 this year? Yeah, maybe you could. But if you're starting a business from scratch and you're like, I'm going to make $1,000,000 this year, that's going to be really, really difficult. And if you're honest and truthful with yourself, you actually don't believe it. Though that's what you want. Like, yeah, heck yeah, we all want $1,000,000. But that's probably not something that's believable. And if you don't believe it, remember, you're not going to see it. So when I'm working with skeptics, getting them to try some law of attraction stuff, not too woo-woo, but just nice, easy law of attraction, I ask them to try to manifest something super, super simple. So a lot of people start off with a cup of coffee. I'm going to manifest a cup of coffee. And don't put a strict time limit to it. Like, I'm going to manifest a cup of coffee within the hour. Maybe, but maybe give yourself a day or two to manifest that, something very small. And a cup of coffee could come to you so many different ways. You could get a coupon in your email for a free cup of coffee, or you could be standing in line at Starbucks and you're ready to pay for your coffee, but the person in front of you pays for you and you get a free cup of coffee. Or it could be your mom comes over for a chat and she brings you a nice cup of coffee. Or maybe you're at the grocery store and they're giving away free bags of coffee, like whatever. There's a million ways that you could get that thing. I remember a while ago, there is another YouTuber who does law of attraction videos, and she put a video out there about how to ease into the law of attraction. And she said, just imagine manifesting a rubber duck. So those yellow squeaky rubber duck toys that you play with in the bath or whatever. She said, just make it small. It's a rubber duck. Don't worry about it. And that's just a mundane, totally normal thing. And maybe if I were a mother or I was a teacher or something, or I worked in like a store that sold kids stuff, I would be like, oh yeah, rubber duck. I would see that easily. But I was like, no, I'm going to do it. It's a small little thing. It's not $1,000,000. I'm going to manifest a rubber duck. So I just had in my head that, yes, okay, I'm going to manifest this rubber duck. And maybe like an hour later, I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw a video of a pit bull dog with a yellow rubber duck in its mouth. I was like, oh my gosh, there it is. There it is. So that's the thing. If you've been burned in the past by the law of attraction not working for you, it's probably because whatever you were hoping for, whatever you were trying to manifest was too big that you didn't believe it. You got to inch your way forward. It's like if you want to run a marathon, well, let's get used to running 1 mile, or let's get used to like running down the block and back first before you start with a marathon. We want to make it believable so that it's easier to attract those things. So start small and build, 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 build. I talked about last week when we were talking about aspiration journaling, how for me, my usual mundane thing is manifesting $1,000. I have done this many, many, many times. And last week I was showing you my aspiration journal where I was writing down how I wanted an unexpected extra $1,000. And I actually got it a few hours after our live stream, and I got $1,500 as opposed to $1,000. But that's the thing. I've been using the law of attraction for, I don't know, decades now. And I have had a pretty nice, successful business career. So manifesting another extra $1,000 is totally believable for me. If I was doing this 20 years ago, I probably would have started with $10. So make it believable for you and then build on that. Okay. And the third reason why you might be skeptical of the law of attraction is because you think it's all mumbo jumbo. You think it's all witches and their cauldrons, or you think it's all chanting under the moon and playing with crystals. And yes, that is part of the law of attraction manifesting community, but that's not all of it. Like seriously, like I'm a pretty fun person, but I'm type A. I'm a productivity coach. I'm very anal, and I'm not going to go chant in the woods with you. I don't have a whole bunch of crystals here. I'm not doing a lot of the woo woo stuff that people think of when they think of the law of attraction. And that's the great thing about it. You can make it work for you based on your lifestyle and who you are. So today, if you have that in your mind that you're skeptical because it feels like I don't know, I'm not at Hogwarts. I don't have a magic wand or whatever, but we can make it work for you even if you are skeptical. We can make it super super easy, like what we did last week, writing in an aspiration journal. That's like a no biggie thing to do. Like that's so easy, and it doesn't take like being a hippie to do that. Okay, so those are 3 quick reasons why you might be skeptical. You're going to believe it when you see it. You've been burned by the law of attraction in the past, or you just think it's all mumbo jumbo and weirdness. Come be weird with us. All right, so if you are a skeptic about the law of attraction, leave a comment right now and let me know why. Like, does it just seem weird? Do you not know the actual steps to do it? Does it feel like it's in conflict with your religion? I don't know. Have you seen someone like had a really bad incident with it in the past? I don't know. Leave a comment and let me know. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about why the law of attraction works. And it works because, you've probably heard this before, thoughts become things. So how you're thinking about things affects your life. Like we talked about that Debbie Downer. If you're always expecting bad things to happen to you, yeah, they're going to show up in your life. And here is the the secret that people may not be ready to hear. I don't know. But they think like, okay, I'm going to think good thoughts and good things are going to show up in my life. But in everyone's life, yours, mine, your neighbors, everyone's life, there are good and bad things. Good things will happen to you. Bad things will also happen to you. Plenty of bad things have happened to me in my life. Plenty of horrific things have happened over the course of history. Good and bad things will happen no matter what. This is life. Welcome to the human experience. And some people are like, well, if those people had just thought more positively and were little Mary Sunshine, would those awful things not have happened? No, those bad things were always going to happen. Bad things will always happen in your life. But you have the choice to interpret those things based on your thoughts, based on your actions. So when bad things happen to your life, you can choose, am I going to think positively about this or am I going to think negatively about this? So don't think that, oh, if I do use a law of attraction, I will never, ever have a bad day in my life. I will never, ever get fired. I will never, ever get abused. I will never, ever have a friendship like ruined or something. No, those bad things just happen because this is life. So I can use an example with me. So you guys know that when I was 15 years old, I attempted suicide and I did survive my suicide attempt. And when I was talking to a therapist afterwards, and she was saying how that when somebody attempts suicide, they are much, much more likely to attempt again and again and again until they're successful. You know this. And I was, for at least several years after my suicide attempt, I was thinking about suicide. I was thinking about killing myself for a while after that. But my therapist said that you have the choice to either go down that dark place and keep suffering, or you can choose to say, look, life is terrible right now, but I believe things can get better. And I chose to believe that things could get better. So after my surviving my suicide attempt, things did not magically get better. The abuse did not stop. The bullying did not stop. The everything did not stop. No, it was still there. It was still present. It was still like a really, really terrible time in my life. But I decided to choose that things could get better. I decided to think positively, like, okay, this is an awful, awful time in my life, but there will be a time where I can get away from my abusers. And I was counting down the days till that. Or things are really terrible right now, but I can see that things are changing in society and things will change and get better in the future. Or I had a feeling that, like I explained in my blog post about how I could visualize my future self being happy and enjoying life. And I knew I could choose to think positively about that. So even though terrible things happened to me in my life, and terrible things have happened to you in your life, and there are atrocities all over the world all the time and throughout history, you can choose to interpret them. You can choose to lay down and die. I certainly had that choice, but I chose to live. So every single day after my suicide attempt, I was consciously choosing to live, consciously choosing to say, I'm going to be hopeful about the future, even though life is terrible right now. So leave a comment and let me know. Have you ever felt like, well, the law of attraction can't possibly work because there are terrible things going on? Or you're just saying that if you thought positively, those awful things wouldn't happen. No. Bad things will always happen. That's like saying, for those of you who are religious, well, people should just believe in God and then there won't be wars or rapes or horrible things. And maybe they just didn't believe in God enough. See, it's like the same thing. You're saying, oh, well, maybe they just didn't believe in the law of attraction enough. No. There will always be terrible things, but you can choose to interpret them differently. You can choose to live your life in a positive way, even when terrible things are happening to you. So that's me on my soapbox. I always get mad when people are saying, well, does that mean no bad things will happen to you? No, bad things are always going to happen to you. This is the human condition. So if your thoughts become things, how can you think more positively than negatively? And like I mentioned, there is good and bad around all of us. But with the law of attraction, all you have to do, you don't have to buy into toxic positivity. I'm not about toxic positivity. You do not have to pretend that bad things are not happening. You just have to think positively, get this, 51% of the time. You don't have to think positively 100% of the time. You don't have to be hopeful 100% of the time, just 51% of your day. So just be hopeful about the future, be grateful for what you have, be thinking positively 51% of the day. That is enough to put you over the hump. That is enough for you to attract more good than bad. This kind of blows people's minds when I tell them that they don't have to become like some kind of crazy rainbows and sunshine person. You just have to think a little bit more positively than negatively. So that should ease a lot of your doubts if you are a skeptic. This is not some huge sweeping change. This is not like putting on rose-colored glasses. You can literally just make teeny, tiny changes. And when I was coming back after my suicide attempt, that is literally what I thought. I was at the brink of killing myself, and I literally just thought a teeny bit more positively than negatively to save myself. So Marie France says, yes, we can't always control what happens to us, but we can control how we react to it. 100%. And I think a lot of people can experience the same things and have completely different outcomes. I know as a queer kid growing up that many of my peers did not come back from that. They were successful in their suicide attempts, whereas I was able to break free from that and come back and think more positively for my life. Okay, so I just want you to focus a little bit more on the good than on the bad, and keeping a gratitude list, which we've talked about many, many times, that can help you. Okay, so let's figure out if there is good and bad in our life. How can we see more good? Well, we're going to look for opportunities, and this is something called confirmation bias. How many of you have heard of confirmation bias? For those of you who want a scientific definition for the law of attraction. So confirmation bias is when you have an idea in your head and you believe it's true, you are going to see proof of that. So if you have some kind of idea in your head about something like, my boss is a jerk, then you are only going to see your boss being a jerk. You're never going to see your boss doing good things. You're only going to see your boss being a jerk, even though they are doing good and bad things all the time. Or let's see that, I don't know, you have some kind of political belief and you are strongly thinking about this political belief. You are only going to see people confirming your political belief. Or when I went vegan back in 1995, when dinosaurs roamed the earth, I started seeing more people all over the place. I started seeing more like vegetarian and vegan foods in the supermarkets. I started seeing more articles about it. I started seeing people talk about it on the news. It was always there. It's just I never saw it until I chose to be a vegan and I had that confirmation bias. So with the law of attraction, whatever it is that you want to attract into your life, whether it's like paying off your debt or having a successful business or having a healthy body or a great relationship, whatever it is, if you start thinking positively about that thing and believing in it, and then start looking for those opportunities in your life, you're going to see them. That's confirmation bias. Those things did not magically appear. They're always there. They are always there, except you don't see them until you start looking for them. That's confirmation bias. Leave a comment and let me know. Have you ever thought of something and then all of a sudden you see it everywhere? So you might buy a new car and then it seems like everyone on the road has your exact same car. Or let's say you hear a song and you really, really like it. And then you can't stop hearing that song. It's everywhere. Or let's say you read a really great book and then all of a sudden everyone is talking about that same book. It's the same thing. These things are always there, but you don't notice them until you start looking for those opportunities. Okay, so here are some examples of confirmation bias and how you can look for opportunities. So you're already thinking positively, you've got your goal in mind and you're believing it. It's a believable goal. Remember, we're not trying to get $1 million. We're trying to focus on believable goals, whether it's like some kind of health goal or whatever, or a money goal, or whether it's simply like that cup of coffee or that rubber duck. You're thinking about it. So we got a comment. Facebook user says, yes, it's happened when I bought my car. It's happened all kinds of other things. I see that a lot too. Like I will buy a piece of clothing and then I'll see everyone else wearing the same piece of clothing. And I'm like, wow, but it was always there. It's kind of funny. Okay, so let's say you want to get healthy, whatever healthy means to you. And then all of a sudden you will read an article or your friend will recommend an app that can help you with your health goals, whatever that is, whether it's like tracking your sleep or tracking your calories or tracking your running or whatever. Like all of a sudden, there it is. It's always been there, but now you're hearing about it because you're thinking about it. Let's say you want to start a business. Then once you are in that mode of start a business, and it's going through your head, you will start seeing emails popping up saying, hey, you want to start a business? I can help you. Or you'll get a coupon code for a program. Or one of your friends will say, hey, I took this great course all about starting a business. Or you'll get some kind of like ad in the mail for how to set up a website or something like that. Like these things will come to you once you are in the mindset of looking for them. Here's the thing I will say about confirmation bias, that you will know at a gut level, like deep within your heart, you will know without a doubt that doing this thing will lead to your goal. There is no shoulds when it comes to the law of attraction. So let's say you want to pay off your debt. And there are many, many, many different ways that you can do that. You can ask for more hours at work. You could get a second job. You could start a business and try to get some passive income that way. You could sell stuff that's sitting around your house that you're not using. You could start like walking dogs or babysitting. Like there's a million different ways that you could get the money to pay off your debt. You could inherit it, whatever. But when you're thinking about all those different ways that your goal could come to you, the right one is the one that feels good in your gut, that makes you feel excited and hopeful and lit up inside. It might be a little nerve-wracking. It might be a teeny bit scary, but it still feels good. It's that good kind of like, ooh, could I do that? Maybe. It's going to feel good. That's how you know you're on the right path with your law of attraction exercises. However, if you are trying to push yourself into a box where you're saying, well, I should do it this way. Like if you're trying to pay off your debt and you're like, well, I should start doing overtime, or, I should get a job on the weekends. And it just feels like your little heart is breaking. Like, I guess I'll have to do it that way. That is not the right choice for you. You want to choose the option that lights you up inside, that makes you feel like you're on the right path. Law of attraction is not about pushing and forcing things to happen. It's about letting life flow, letting the universal energy flow within you. So you should feel positive, happy, hopeful. Leave a comment and let me know, was there anything that you were working towards, some kind of goal, and you had all these different options for how you could make that goal happen? Did you notice one that made you feel really good? Like, what if I do it this way? And then others that were like, oh, if I did it that way, I would feel so awful. let me know. Like, were you able to differentiate which ones led to those positive feelings and which ones didn't? Okay, so that's confirmation bias. Again, leave a comment and let me know if you've been using confirmation bias in your life. All of the options are out there, but you're only going to see the one that you're looking for when you start actively looking for it. Okay, for you skeptics, I've got one more law of attraction exercise, which I will say is the easiest, most effective law of attraction exercise ever. Da, 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 da. It costs nothing. You have to buy nothing. You don't have to buy crystals. You don't have to buy some hippie clothes. You don't have to go on a retreat somewhere on a mountaintop. Like, none of that. No. It costs nothing to do this law of attraction exercise. All it is a great big mindset shift. And you can do this anywhere. You can do this at home. You can do this at work. You can do this if you're in a crappy job. You can do this if you've got thousands of dollars of debt. You can do this if you're in a terrible relationship. You do not need to wait for things to be perfect. You do not need to wait to have like the perfect tools or anything. You do it without any money, and you can do it right where you are right now. That is like the basis of the law of attraction. Okay, here it is. The easiest and most effective law of attraction exercise is to fake it till you make it. Leave a comment. How many of you have heard this before? What you're going to do is so simple. You are going to act as if. Act as if everything that you are working towards, your great biggest goals, are right here, right now in front of you. They are happening right this minute. So think about what you want in your life. Let's say you want a successful business. You want a successful 6-figure business. This is the goal of many of my clients. You're going to act every day as if you already have a successful 6-figure business. And I know that might be very difficult for those of you who have a lot of debt, or for those of you who don't even have a website, or for those of you who don't have any products and have never sold anything. But how would you act if you had a successful 6-figure business? Probably a lot different than you are right now. You would probably like get up every morning and put on a nice outfit. If you wear makeup, you might wear makeup. You would do your hair nicely as if you are representing your 6-figure business. You might clean up your office so that you could like record pretty videos in your office to promote your business. You might invest in a coach or another program to help you get to that next level. I have noticed this with my clients and certainly with me that if I, like when I started out, I was using lots of these like rinky-dink little programs. I was trying to kind of like Frankenstein my business together with a dozen different programs, a dozen different things. And everything was like $5 here, $10 here. And nothing talked to each other. Everything was glitching. And it was just, I was trying to cheap out my business. And when I got rid of all of those things and I got one CRM, customer relationship management program, that yes, it was a few $100s a month, but everything was in one place. Everything spoke to each other and worked well together. And it really leveled me up. Like I felt more professional instead of trying to piece together my business. Like everything leveled up. Like, oh my gosh, I feel more professional. It's kind of like buying a really nice car, as opposed to using a car that's like falling apart and keeps stalling on the side of the road and it smells bad. Like when you buy a really nice car, you are leveled up and you will like, oh, well, I want to dress nice if I'm going to be driving this nice car. And when I leveled up like my business system, so my business platform, it made me want to get dressed up every morning. It made me want to record better videos. It made me want to put out better programs and services. And it certainly made me raise my prices. Like, yeah, we all want that. So think about that. Whatever your goal is, how would you act if it was right here, right in front of you? And by simply taking those actions and faking it till you make it, skeptics, you can totally do this. By faking it till you make it, you will start acting like those things and attract those things to you. So if you, like, I don't know, let's say you are at a conference and you're dressed up nice and your shoulders are back and you're walking tall and confidently, someone might ask you to, I don't know, do a speech at their conference the next week. Or they might ask you for your card and then hire you because you look like you know what you're doing. So what about some of those other goals? Like, let's say you want to have a healthy body, whatever that means to you. How would you act if you had a healthy body? Well, think about other people who have a healthy body, whatever that means to you. Maybe they're walking around their neighborhood every day. Maybe they're stretching every morning. Maybe they're getting fruits and veggies at every meal. Maybe they are like doing all the things that their doctor told them to do so they can get off those harsh medications, whatever it might be. So start acting like that. Maybe start meal planning, or maybe start looking up healthy recipes, or maybe figure out like what you can do. Maybe you could join a gym with a buddy or something. How would you act if you already had those things? And it's kind of like one good thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. And after a while, here's the best part of faking it till you make it. The second part, the making it. After a while, you won't be faking it anymore. You will be like living in to what you wanted and getting there faster and easier than you ever thought possible. So for those of you who are in my Startup in 60 program, which is my business course, which helps you start a business from scratch in 60 days, you will recognize this as your business persona. So you might act like somebody who does have a successful business, and every day you are coming forward as that person. So you've heard this before, where Beyonce is Beyonce, but when she's on stage performing, she's Sasha Fierce. She has this persona that she adopts that helps her be more bombastic and like beautiful and sexy than who she is right now. And she's pretty like sexy and beautiful and all that stuff right now too. But on stage, she's a different person. So it's kind of like adopting a character. Like if you were whoever's the top of your field in whatever your field is, Oprah or whoever, how would you act every day for your business or for your life? If you were that perfect mom, how would you act every day? What tools would you be using? What level of patience would you have? How would you approach a problem versus how you're approaching a problem now? Faking it till you make it. You got two other ways, or a few other ways that you can fake it till you make it and make that easier for you. So a lot of times when we are thinking about our goal and how would I act as if that goal was right in front of me right now, that could either be you times 10. So it's maybe you, but just like turned up a little bit. So it's still you. You're not changing all of you. You're editing and you're just more of you. So if you're doing something at level 1 right now, you're doing it at level 10 when you're faking it till you make it. So it's you times 10. If that's not easy for you to wrap your head around, then try acting like a celebrity. Like how would, I don't know, how would Oprah do this? How would Beyonce do this? How would whoever do this? And act how they would do it. Or you could even choose a book character or a movie character or some kind of fictional character and be like, how would she do this? How would she handle this problem? How would she approach paying off debt? How would she approach getting healthy? How would she approach starting a business? And then just tap into the way that that person would act. It's kind of like you're borrowing their energy, you're borrowing their mindset to push yourself forward when you're faking it till you make it. I would love to hear. Leave a comment and let me know. Do you have a business persona? Who do you fake it till you make it like? Is there someone in your field that you're like, you know, I'm trying to emulate so-and-so? How would so-and-so handle this problem? Is there someone who's like really good with money? Maybe that's your friend or your sister or whoever, and you emulate them when you're paying off your bills or when you're looking for ways to bring in more money. Or is there someone who's really fit and healthy and you're like, I want to be like that person. Like they don't have to take all these medications. They have plenty of energy to keep up with their kids. I'm going to like imagine I'm that person for the day. I'm trying to think of like, for most of the time it's me like pumped up. Me times 10 is who I think of. I don't necessarily think of like specific celebrities or whoever. But oh, like maybe like you guys have seen the movie Legally Blonde. And I kind of think of Elle Woods, the main character, who's blonde and bubbly, but she's super, super smart too. I kind of imagine her when I think about my business. If my business was a person, it would be Elle Woods. So I think about that. Like, how can I do blank? How can I put out this program? How can I send this email? How can I interact with my clients where we're casual, we're having fun, where we're doing good things, but we're being really, really smart about it too. And I love how those things can be together. You don't have to be like goofy, silly, girly, and not smart. You can be both of those things together. So that's kind of how I would approach my fake it till you make it. Like, what would Elle Woods do in this situation? All right, skeptics, life editors, let's recap this. Okay, so the law of attraction is appreciating what you have now, being hopeful for the future, and thinking positively, but only needing to think positively 51% of the time, just a little bit over that hump, a little bit more than not, to attract those good things to you. And this is because everything exists right now. Good things exist right now, and bad things exist right now. Pam says, I can totally see your business as Elle Woods. Yes, yes, I even have a dog. It's not a little chihuahua, but I do have a cute little dog too. So think about that. For law of attraction, just thinking positively 51% of the time. That's going to help you with confirmation bias. Once you know your goal, once you've got it in your mind and you're thinking about it, you're going to see it. It has always been there, but you have not noticed it until you choose to notice it, until you have that confirmation bias. Like, I am going to look for ways I can start a business. I am going to look for tips to live a healthy life. I'm going to look for strategies for paying off my debt. They're always there, but now that you're using the law of attraction, you're going to see them. And the easiest, most effective law of attraction technique doesn't cost any money, and you don't need any crystals or any of that stuff. Those of you who like crystals, you're going to be like, why does she always say bad things about crystals and hippies? No, I love those. I love crystals and hippies and stuff. It's just not me. You are going to fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. That is the easiest way to bring in what you desire. Act as if. Act as if you are living in that great neighborhood. Act as if you are paying down your debt every week. Act as if you have a thriving business. Act as if your body is healthy and not achy and you feel good. Act as if you are in a romantic relationship. I can say this, like back in college, I was not dating anyone because I was hugely nerdy, but I wanted to date someone. I wanted a committed partner. So what I did, I started acting as if, okay, if I had a committed partner, how would I act? Well, I would get dressed every morning and not wear my sweatpants. Don't wear your sweatpants every day if you want a romantic partner. So I dressed up, did makeup as if I had a partner. I cleaned out my closet so that there would be room for my partner to put his clothes or her clothes in that side of my closet. I made sure my room was always clean and didn't have like stuff all over the place. This is going to be interesting. I started sleeping on one side of the bed as opposed to sleeping in the middle of the bed, because if I had a partner, I'd be sharing a bed. I started saving some of my money so I could pay for dates that weren't happening right now, but I assumed dates would be happening. So I started acting as if before I had a partner. And literally a few weeks after I started living as if I had a partner, though I did not have a partner, I met who would become my future husband. And we were married for 17 years. So I think that was pretty positive. So I would love to hear from you. How have you ever faked it till you make it? And what results did you get? And any of you who are still feeling skeptical, I urge you to fake it till you make it for at least a few days this week. Or if like that's too complicated, you don't want to act like Beyonce or whoever this week, or whatever your goal is, let's choose something really easy. If you're still feeling skeptical about the law of attraction and whether or not it can work for you, then let's pick something that you're going to manifest in the next few days We're not going to put a strict time limit on it. It might come in an hour, it might come 2 days from now. But let's find one thing that you're going to invite into your life, that you're going to manifest and that you're going to see. So that could be a cup of coffee. That's an easy one. I know lots of people start with just a cup of coffee, but you could make it something else like pink polka dots. You are going to see pink polka dots somewhere in the next few days. If anyone else has an idea of something easy to manifest, like the rubber duck, you could do a rubber duck. That's a really like easy one too. Something small, something mundane, something that when you see it, you would know that it worked for you. And it could come to you in many, many different ways. Like I said, I saw the rubber duck in a Facebook video. Or you could like have someone give you a cup of coffee, or you could get a coupon for a cup of coffee. Marie Franz says, I'm going to manifest new subscriber to my mailing list. Woo! I love that. I love that. Hey, Marie Franz, if we did want to sign up for your freebies and we did want to get on your mailing list, what's the URL? Can you leave a comment and tell us where could we sign up for your mailing list and what kind of fun freebies could we get? Let's see if we can, if Marie Franz can manifest a new subscriber to her freebie list. I gotta tell you, she has really beautiful free printables. So Marie Franz, if you could leave your URL, leave a link where we could get your freebies, where we could get on your mailing list, that would be amazing. Who else? Who else has something that you're going to manifest? And what is it? And I would love it once you do manifest it, if you come back and tell us. Like I told you last week, during last week's call, I was going to manifest $1,000. It actually happened a couple hours after that call. I got $1,500 unexpectedly, which was pretty cool. So that worked for me. Let me do this with you. Let me think about something. What should I manifest? now I gotta think of something. I guess I could do $1,000 again. I could manifest another $1,000. That's kind of like my go-to. Like if I just want to do something, I think about that. Maybe. Yeah, I guess I could do that because that's just kind of what I think about all the time. I'm trying to think if there's anything interesting or different. I don't know. I just ran out of flavored tea. So I have like lots of little different like flavored teas that I drink at home. If I could manifest some fun flavored teas, that would be something fun to manifest. I would love some fun flavored teas to show up in my life in some way. And remember, it might show up the way that you think about it. Like maybe a friend brings some over, or maybe there's a free sample in the mailbox. Or it could come unexpectedly. Maybe there's an email about it, or maybe I'm walking in a store and they're giving out free samples, or something like that. It could come in many, many different ways. So think about that. Whatever it is that you want to manifest, think clearly about what it is. Use that confirmation bias. Start looking for it, whether it's a cup of coffee or rubber duck or new subscribers or $1,000 or whatever it is. Look for it. Use that confirmation bias and let it come to you. Here's the thing: the universe will find the easiest, quickest way for it to come to you. And it's not going to be that pushing sensation. It's not going to be putting you into a box. It's not the shoulds that we talk about. It's going to come easily and effortlessly. So just let it come to you. Think about it. Imagine that it's already here and just think about it and it will come to you. All right. Marie France says, thank you. Yes, I am the best. You're the best. Everyone's the best. No, really, thank you so much for all of you who have been here for these live calls. If you've been following my YouTube channel, and please hit subscribe, click the subscribe button below so you don't miss any of my life editing videos. Thank you so much, because I have noticed that several of my recent videos have kind of exploded in subscribers, and I'm very, very grateful for that. I love seeing your comments, and I love interacting with you during these weekly calls. All right, remember, before we leave today, next week, we're talking about Manifesting Made Easy. I left the link in the description on Facebook and YouTube. Get your copy of the book. You still have a week to read it. And next week, we're going over all of the juicy little bits and secrets in this book. Love this book. I can't wait to hear what you manifested this month. And if you want to keep up with this, make sure to download your checklist that is below. We update that every single month. All right, life editors, I'm going to let you go. Even if you're watching the replay, go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know, why are you skeptical? What are you going to try out this week? to use the law of attraction. Remember, just a little bit more positive than negative. Use that confirmation bias. Get it in your head and then look for it. Everything is existing right now at this moment. And then come back and tell us your results. Like that's the biggest part. I want to hear how it worked for you. And that will like pump up everyone else and like, oh, so-and-so got this done. So, so now I'm going to keep doing it. So go ahead and let us know what you're able to manifest. Okay. Thanks again so much for being here, Life Editors. And I will talk to you again next week. Bye.